Hello friends, I am now in my mid-30s and I wanted to share with you what I wish I knew in my 20s. But first, about today's sponsor, this cloud I saw last week that looks like a pig. So about today's topic, advices or things I wish I knew in my 20s. The number one would be the fact that you feel lost, and that's pretty much normal. Until your early 20s, you're following a predefined path in your life, which consists mostly of going to school and attending different forms of education. Maybe you had some summer job at a certain age, but for most of us, it's just about walking on a set path. So at this age, you need to make your own choices and actually discover who you are. I got one of my own stories to share here. In the late teens, early 20s is when normal university starts. For this, I moved about 300 kilometers away from my family and I was living completely on my own. The first year was full of bad choices, which besides drinking includes also trying different types of social drugs. In my first year of university, I was focusing on having fun. I barely passed half of my exams, and the other half I just failed and had to retake them in later university. So at this age, the best thing when making choices is to ask yourself, what would future you think about this decision? If, for example, I keep going out to drink, will tomorrow me just feel shame, sick, and depressed about it? Or if I get some healthy nutrition and proper rest, will tomorrow me just feel proud and accomplished about what I did in the previous day? Now, tomorrow you is always inevitable. Next day is always going to come. So always ask yourself, what will tomorrow you think about your actions? If possible, extrapolate this and think what will future you in a few years from now or in 2, 3, 4 years from now think about the current decisions. So allow your future self to be thankful to today you for taking that class, to be thankful for spending time to work out, to be thankful for just investing that money in that project. A second point, which I find very important, is just show up. Being there is more than half the job done. Show up to class and school. You for sure will learn something more than from skipping class. Show up to that date. Get to know people. Show up to work. This is a big one for me personally. Now you, before you get your first job, you assume all people working are super professional and capable individuals. The truth is not really so. I have met too many incompetent people working and holding jobs they shouldn't. So don't be intimidated by a workplace. Just showing up can prove to be difficult, but once you do that, the rest is easy. A third point would be don't compare yourself at your lowest point with someone else at their best moment. This is not necessarily something I wish I knew when I was 20, but at any age it's good to learn. So normally the moments when you check social media is when you are bored, when you don't really have anything to do. In contrast to how you feel at that time is what you see online. You see posts of people doing the most exciting things from their day, and as such you end up comparing yourself at the lowest point of your day with other people at their best moment of their day. The truth is that everyone is struggling, everyone is fighting their own inner battles, and this is a thing that most of us keep to ourselves. And to others, we just try and portray an image of happiness, which unfortunately distorts the truth for everyone around. Number four is a saying I heard, and I find it super interesting. And the saying goes like this: what Peter says about Paul tells us more about Peter than about Paul. So just think about this. This saying teaches you two things. Number one, when someone starts gossiping, starts talking about other people, look at their body language, at their face. This will let you know if they are the envious type or jealous, or how they feel about the person they talk about. Depending on what they are sharing about another person, you will know if you can also share something about you with this person or not. Second thing you can learn from this saying is for you yourself to stop gossiping. You do not gain anything from it, and the person you are talking to will not inherently be interested or appreciate you just because you're talking about someone else. But if you stop gossiping, you become yourself a confidant and a person seen as trustworthy. Point number 5 would be also a saying I heard from somebody else. Your 20s is just puberty all over again, but it's all emotions. In a way, this is one of the most profound things one of my friends ever told me. While in your teens, your body goes through a lot of physical changes. But then in your 20s, you can expect a lot of emotional and individual growth and changes. Keeping to the same strand, I am getting to number 6. And this sounds like this. A healthy person wants 10,000 different things, but a sick person only wants one thing. Your 20s are still a period of overall good health. Build on that and develop good habits. Invest money in a good diet. Find an outdoor activity that you enjoy. Maybe it's running, it can be cycling, rock climbing, or why not swimming? Or you might have a sport that you like, football, tennis, or I don't know, even golf. Most of these activities will allow you to meet people you will not interact with otherwise. Besides the social aspect, these activities will keep you in good health for longer and will allow you to develop your hobbies. Moving on to number 7, learn to evaluate what a good partner is for a relationship. Maybe this comparison will help you understand what you should look for a relationship, at least from my point of view. So you might have already owned a cool car until now, or maybe a cool mobile phone or a nice laptop or whatever cool looking or cool features piece of gear. I will take the car example, but this can apply to any other item you own. So let's say you have a car. It's super cool looking car. I mean, it's your first car, you spend a lot to have a nice looking car, it was expensive, it's a head turner. People wished they had this car. People are envious about you because of it. Because of this, you are also somewhat afraid that it might get stolen and someone else will have it. But this car is full of mechanical problems. Needs a lot of money to get it serviced and keep it running. Needs a lot of gas to run. So over time, you start hating it. It's time consuming and it's not worth the hassle you are going through. You end up buying not such a flashy car. You get one that starts up every morning, nothing overly complicated inside of it that might get you scared to even look under the hood. It's very reliable, cheap to run, and you trust that it will always be there for you. You love it for what it is, not for how it looks. In a similar manner, you should look for a partner. You don't need a headache, you don't need daily worries of what will go wrong this time when you meet. This will just build anger and hate. You should have a partner that is always there for you. Someone with who you feel comfortable at all times. Someone you can love. Now to quickly get to 10 points, I have a few short ones left. Number 8 is don't try to be the smartest, coolest or funniest person in the room at all times. It's exhausting for you and the people around you. You just wind up looking like an attention hog. And instead of trying to always seem like the smartest person in the room, it's better to just recognize when you don't know something and ask a question. You will actually learn new things and you won't look like you're talking out of your ass. A super short one is number 9. If you smoke, quit smoking. Nothing else really to be said about this one. And number 10 puts under a question mark all the points before it. Don't take advice from people you don't know just because they are older than you. So even this video you just watched, maybe I don't know how you should live your life. Maybe my advice is not usable because I'm not you. The time has changed and your situation is different than my situation was. So that makes the 10 things I wish I knew in my 20s. Ending this in the usual way with the recommendation of something interesting that you can check out, and it will take you less than 5 minutes to do so. I still don't have a name of what to call this segment, but here it goes. Today I want to share with you the concept of sampling in the context of music. This refers to songs created only using dialogue from one or multiple movies. The music creators make the instrumental track, and as lyrics, they just use cuts of different lines from something that someone else created, like from movies. A good example of this is the song Frontier Psychiatrist by the Avalanches. This song and the video are somewhat of a strange ride, but yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget, you are loved.